Hello, investors. My name is Sally Gimmon, and I am the owner of the TrustIsYou.com, and I want to let you know that I'm trying to start a new podcast called Stop Paying Capitals Now. That's going to go live later this month in January. The reason I want to talk about this is because I want people who are doing any investing to know how they can save federal taxes. Super important conversation, so I hope you learned something today. I'm going to make sure my volume's up. Let's go. Okay. So what's going to happen here is 97% of the trusts out in the United States right now only avoid going to court when someone dies. My mom and dad had that. What Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, that's true. 97% of those trusts. What I'm going to talk to you about is what the top 3% of the Americans have, maybe even less than that. The full name for this trust, so you have this, is Irrevocable Complex Discretionary Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. Let me go over all those five names. Irrevocable, it goes from generation to generation. Again, what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about is called a revocable trust. It ends when that person passes away. When I do my father's 2022 taxes, the trust ends, and I'm going to pay out my two brothers and I, and we're done. So irrevocable. This is, if you know the Rockefellers, their trust is called the Office. It's 7 generations long, and has over 400 people in it. So irrevocable, complex. This trust can hold money day to day, month to month, year to year, decade to decade. Again, the Rockefellers trust is going from generation to generation. My dad's trust, the regular trust, family trust, it ends at the when I do his taxes. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary. Discretionary means whoever is the trustee or trustors, there could be two, they get to make the rules for all the beneficiaries. The Rockefellers have a law firm that does it. In my family, I am the trustee. I'm nice to my brothers and sister-in-laws and all my nieces and nephews. I do have clients, husband and wife, they're both trustees. They have a daughter in California. The parents have 5 apartment buildings. The daughter lives in one of the apartments rent-free. She's involved with drugs and alcohol, so they're requiring her to do 4 random drug tests a month. She went to court to sue them. I mean, come on, honey, you're living rent-free in California. I wish I was living rent-free. So when she went to court, the judge saw that this was an irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor spendthrift trust, and he says, lady, you want to live rent-free? You do the 4 random drug tests, you've got no leg to stand on. Again, irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor. This makes it completely private. Somebody who is not a beneficiary, and I highly suggest not someone you invest with, because I've seen too many investment deals go sour. Somebody who is not a beneficiary or an investment partner is going to sign up for the trust and then sign their name away. You will need their social security number. I do have both a business trust and a beneficial trust. I used a family friend. Roy knew me before I was born. He was 87 when he did this. He had to sign his name 17 times. He had arthritis in his fingers, so it was not a good choice on my part. We laugh about it, but choose somebody who does not have arthritis in their fingers. And then the last part, spendthrift. This is a very important part. This has been gone in front of the Supreme Court twice, and both times the Supreme Court has said that the spendthrift trust is its own entity and can enter into any contract. Now, what makes this trust legal? This is what the one key, everyone's like, ooh, this sounds illegal. What makes this trust legal is it is written in IRS Tax Code 643B like boy or B like Bravo. Most CPAs are only working in the 300 to 400 level. That's what they learned in school, and that's all they deal with. Talking about school, I went to University of Maryland. My background, I was an English Lit major. Yeah, real useless degree, but I love to read. Think of the Shakespeare's all of Shakespeare's plays. This is what a college professor told me, that Shakespeare's play, if you line them all up, his entire portfolio, the US tax code is 10 times the size of Shakespeare's works. Shakespeare has a lot of plays out there. So again, this is 643B like Bravo. So your information, the 3 things this trust will do that the regular trusts don't do. The regular trust just avoids going to probate. These trusts will, number 1, help you save money in federal taxes. Everyone loves to do that. Number two, we'll keep your information 100% private with what's going on, phishing markets and everything else, phishing and spamming, that's important. And then the third one that I think is the most important is that it's going to keep you from being sued in any lawsuit. I know too many people who have been sued, and I don't want to be sued. Now, that is the full title of it. There are two separate trusts. One's a business trust for 1099 income. Any 1099 income goes through the business trust. The second trust is the beneficial trust. That is for investors. When I say investors, I don't care if you're a crypto investor or a crypto miner, or a real estate investor, a stock market investor, or if you do options. There's five different taxes that the beneficial trust will save you money. Starting with this, what's going to happen with the beneficial trust, the 5 different taxes, capital gains. This is a big one for me because I am a real estate investor. Short-term capital gains are 23.8%. So if you wholesale, if you fix and flip, if you stop an auction, anything like that, you're going to pay 23.8%. Long-term capital gains. This is short-term is less than a year. Long-term is more than a year. So if you're selling a business, I help someone with Schwann's home delivery. I'm helping somebody who's selling 2 car washes for $2 million. Now, I am not a CPA, so I cannot answer this question. But if you're selling a business, it's either going to be 15% or 20% on capital gains. So think of this. $2 million, $2 million, 15% is $300,000 in capital gains. $2 million and 20% is $400,000 in capital gains. You get this trust, you don't have to worry about that money and paying the federal government. So again, it's going to be capital gains. It's going to save you capital gains. It's going to save you dividends income in case you have any stocks or anything like that. It's going to save you on interest income. It's going to save you on rent rolls, and it's going to save you on royalties. That's a lot of money to be saved. I'm not going to crow about what I'm talking about, but I want you to show you how this is working. So if you do go out to thetrustisYou.com, you will find the slide deck that I am referring to. What happened for me back in July of 2020 in my real estate group, it was the deal of the week. I was the third person who first 2 people could not come up with the $20,000. I was able to get the $20,000. It was a reverse mortgage that was bank owned. The bank had to get it off their books. So what they told me was July 2020, I was going to pay $20,000. When the auctions opened again, we're in the middle of COVID, it would go for auction at $50,000. Yay, Sally! I'm going to make $30,000. That's a lot of money. But I'm bored during COVID. My background is competitive intelligence, so I started looking at things and I wanted to find out what it was going to cost me. If I made $30,000, it would have been $7,500 I would pay in capital gains. That's a lot of money. Well, it didn't open again. I'm sorry, I got a cat playing with my phone cord. I bought it July of 2020. It went to auction August 28th, 2021. So I held it for 13 months. When it got done with what was happening at auction, it sold for $64,329. Yay, Sally! Because I had this in the trust, I bought it in my LLC back in July of 2020. I did have to do 2 simple bill of sales saying on let's say September 1st, 2020, my LLC sells 1011 Remington Avenue in Rocky Mount, North Carolina for $1 to Sally Gimmon. Got that notarized. Second bill of sale says on September 1st, 2020, Sally Gimmon sells 11011 Remington Avenue in Rocky Mount, North Carolina to the trust for $1. Got that notarized. I was living in Phoenix. I sent it to the attorneys in North Carolina. They wrote back to me the next day, did it by email. The next day they wrote back and they said, we need the first page of your trust. Easy peasy. Took a picture of it, put it into the email and sent it to them. When the house went for auction, August 28th, 2021, it had the Spendthrift Trust on there. When it got sold for $64,329, I saved, drum roll please, I saved $10,550. That's a lot of money. Now, that was just my first thing in the trust. You pay one time for the trust, and it keeps paying you back over and over again. When you do go out to the trustisyou.com, you're going to see the slides, the slide deck. I do show my what I did in 2021 and up until July 31st, 2022. I've done a lot more real estate since then. I won an upset bid December 27th, and I'm going to sell it January 30th and make $6,000. Yay, Sally! So there's money to be saved here. Again, I am not telling you have to have this. This is for investors. Real estate investors, crypto investors, crypto mining. I have a crypto bot that I'm making about $31.72 a day on. Yay, not a huge amount, but it's just one, and I'm saving money that way. So please look this over if this is something to help you with. Here is another question I have for you. I have done this many times. I have fix and flippers who want to have this trust, but they cannot afford it until they sell the house. So what we do is we start the trust. They say they want the trust. We get them their EIN number so they can open up the bank account. And then the day that they close, either using a title company or an attorney, depending where they are in the country, that then they would pay for the trust. So you don't have to have the money up front. We could wait until the sale happens. Trust me, I work for a law firm. They'll find you if you don't pay for this. I'm not trying. That's a joke. Please take that as a joke. So this is to help investors. Now, most people have never heard of this trust. I understand. I'm probably going to get a cease and desist letter on this, but this is a true story. Well, I knew Grant Cardone offers this trust to his people who spend $100,000 with Grant Cardone. One of my friends is huge Grant Cardone fan. He was listening for this for me. Yes, Grant Cardone offers this to his people who spend $100,000. He offers this trust for $50,000. So that's a lot of money. What the trust I'm talking about here is it's a one-time deal for $20,500. You're going to get the trust that goes from generation to generation. You're going to get your, they're going to set up your EIN number. There's going to be a person to work with your person to help you, the non-grantor, get signed in correctly. And then help you schedule A, B, and C. A is your property or your crypto accounts. B is going to be your vehicles. My trust owns my car. So when I changed the registration from Arizona to North Carolina, the trust paid for that. I failed inspection because I had dimples in my windshield. The trust paid for that. The trust pays for my gas every time I go to the gas station. Now, it also owns all my belongings and everything. The three things the Spendthrift Trust does not cover, and I might be getting into the weeds and I have to apologize, but the three things the trust does not cover is food, fun, and fashion. So my car, nothing special, a Nissan, what do I have, a Nissan Versa. The Blue Book value of it was $12,000. So I can take up to what is called a demand letter, up to $12,000 to pay for my food, fun, and fashion if I just had the Spendthrift Trust. I do have the business trust that has my online, I sell silver, Novatech, I do quite a bit of business online. I don't have to worry about food, fun, and fashion because that pays that. Now, just to give you an idea, I am at Wells Fargo. I have a red debit card and I have a blue debit card because Silly Sally gets confused. So I know blue is for food, fun, and fashion, red's for everything else. I do go live, Q&A every Monday night, 8 p.m. East Coast time. If you want to come see that, every Monday I go live, 8 p.m. East Coast time to answer your questions. When you do go out to thetrustisYou.com, you can set up a one-on-one with me if you'd like. Again, I'm trying to help investors. Last story, because I want people to know this. My friend, his name's Kelly. He's a retired preacher in my real estate group. The average age of person joining the real estate group is 54 years old and a man. There's a lot more men than women in it. This was back in 2001. It was his fourth time going to door knock on this house. It was going to auction on March 1st. On Super Bowl Sunday, let's say February 6th, he caught the daughter at the house. She was headed back to Los Angeles. Her dad had passed away. It was going to auction. She didn't have money to stop the auction. He was able to get her to sign the paperwork. He was able to wholesale this. This is Buckeye, Arizona. It's about 35 miles west of Phoenix. He was able to get stop the auction, and he sold it to another investor in my real estate group. He made $55,000. Yay, Kelly! He sat in on I do mastermind in my real estate group. He sat in 3 times. He knows $55,000 is $11,900 in capital gains. He paid off some bills. He did some other things. He didn't think about it. So what happened was that he did his taxes for 2021, and he's driving Uber 6 nights a week because he has a $990 a month tax bill for capital gains. He wants to be the poster child for the Trust is You, saying what not to do. So please make an appointment with me. I'm here to help. I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye.